Alright, it's time for the next season of BFR. This is a weird one. We've got Fadi Rules 2. Fadi Rules is a format where every coach submits, we did 5 rules this season, and then the mods go through and we pick out which ones we think will work best with the format, and we pair up 3 to fit in 1 week, and we randomly pick each week which set of 3 rules we're going to use. So here's some examples of the rules that people have submitted. Noodle time. Pokemon cannot use items or moves listed on their analytics page. Most recent Smogon tier from game they're in. This rule does not apply to Pokemon without data such as... Okay. So basically you can't use your best moves, essentially. The evolution spray. You must bring 3 pre-evolved form of your 3 Pokemon. This week will be doubles. Okay, doubles OU, not VGC. And then surprise fallings. One Pokemon has to use only moves from Falling's moveset. So it's like really weird stuff. Let me find my rules. Oh, this one was mine. Unstable DNA. Coaches can use any form or alternate evolution of a Pokemon in their team, including a Pokemon not on the draft board. Oh, this one's also mine. What's in the draft board? You can swap any one Pokemon on your team for another in the same tier, even if it's already drafted. Oh, and then double the fun is also one of my rules. 6 rules. But yeah, it's just like a bunch of weird stuff. Feel free to pause the video, take a look at the rest of the rules that'll be happening throughout the season. There was also some differences in the drafting itself. So each coach, the first time through the snake draft, had to pick a drafting quirk. So these quirks are based on color. Like your draft board will only be Pokemon that are these colors. These are Pokemon in Pokedexes. We've got weight, we've got height, we've got body type. There's these ones that are all like different categories. So like you can only draft Pokemon with longer than 9 names. Only Pokemon that can learn U-turn. The speed set divisible by 4. And then there's the special ones there. I was gonna say harder, but like these 2 are not hard. This one was probably a little hard. This one I don't think was that hard. But yeah, so that's basically what Fadi Rules is. Everything after that is normal, I guess. Like every week you pick a team of potentially 6. Some rules you might not actually be able to bring your whole team. For example, the Little Cup rule. Where is it? This one? Yeah, all Pokemon devolved to their first stage. Battles are played in Little Cup. Pokemon banned from Gen 7 to 9 Little Cup are not allowed, or they're regional. So like, if you have too many Pokemon that aren't allowed in Little Cup, you just can't bring 6 Pokemon. But these are the teams that everyone came up with. Here you can see the quirk that people drafted with. Here's mine. I picked old and new, which is only Gen 9 and 1. And yeah, now that I've explained how the drafting works, how the weeks will go, all the weird rules, we're gonna get into the Fadi Rules PR. So I've got this list of everybody's mascot, and we're gonna go through because I was too lazy to download team images. And I'll name the tiers as we go. But I'll be ranking everyone using their mascots. So starting with Papa, we're going to be looking at his team. He's got Ursaluna, Goldango, Horntea, Gastro, Hydra, Darkspun, Salazzle, Oricorio, Saucebuck, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, and Colossal. And we're going to be ranking them on how well they would do in an escape room. So, Papa's team, I think it's not going to be bad. I think it mostly relies on Goldango and Urshifu. I think Salazzle and Oricorio can help a decent amount too, but things like Gastro, Hydra, Ursaluna might be able to help, but like they're just gonna really struggle to like pick things up and like look at things like that. Colossal is like a fire hazard. I think it really comes down to how good Goldango and Urshifu would do in escape room. You know, I think they would do okay. I think there are teams that'll do better though. They'll be able to solve it faster. So next we'll move on to Frosty's team. And Frosty has a lot of humanoid-ish type Pokemon with at least hands, you know? They can pick things up. Caesar is a risk bringing into an escape room. Like if you break something really important, then you're kind of screwed. But everyone else, except for like Silvally, can pick stuff up no problem. So honestly, I think this is a pretty competent team in that regard when it comes to actual problem solving. I feel like Rabombi would be really good at solving puzzles. I don't think anyone else would be bad. Lando might be a little bit dumb. Wacky is probably like a teenager, so like he could be good at these, you know? But I think overall this team would do pretty okay. Frosty is Gardevoir, so we're gonna put him at least A, you know? These tiers will change as we look at more teams, and the names of the tiers might also change, like how quickly they can do it, whatever. Hollow's team, I don't really need to think about anything. They have a literal supercomputer, so yeah. Roma's team, I feel like Roma's team is maybe similar to Frosty's, but a little bit worse, because you have like Melton and Necrozma that are huge and like huge meaty Guzzlord as well, like claws that can't really like pick stuff up and get around in an escape room. So they would be like detriments, I think. And then you have like Toucanon, Torracat, Primarina, Gligar, none of which can really like interact with stuff in the room without like breaking it, or like doesn't have thumbs. So it really comes down to like Zeraora, Serena, Heracross, and kind of Nihilego. I'm guessing you can see, but it doesn't have eyes, so it might struggle a little bit. So I think this would probably be similar to Papa's team, actually, now that I'm looking through it more. Maybe even worse, just because of the size of some of these mons. Like, they're gonna get in the way so much, you know? So I think for now, we're gonna put it in C. Next we have Towers. Towers has Mew, Great Tusk, Tapu Fini, Kyurem, Bronzong, Whimsicott, Iron Thorns, Venusaur, Ninetales, Smoliv, and Rhyhorn. So I think this is a similar issue of like not a lot of mobile Pokemon with hands that can pick things up. Like you have Mew, you have Finny, you have Whimsicott. That's about it. I don't think like Ninetales would be useless. I do think things like Great Tusk, Kyurem, Iron Thorns, I think all of those would be a detriment. And then like Smoliv, Rhyhorn, and Venusaur would just be kind of useless. I don't see them doing a whole lot of helping. I do think Mew alone would be pretty good at solving the escape room though. Mew and Whimsicott in general, I think would be pretty good. Now that I'm thinking about it. So we're actually gonna put, what is Tower's mascot? Phalanx. We're actually gonna put them. Let's look at Papa's team again. Goldango or Shifu? Yeah, you can at least go higher than that, I think. I think here is fine. Just because, like, these two are so... Just because, like, I feel like these two alone could carry, you know? Just the kind of vibe they give. Alright, so now we have Fadi's team. Fadi's got Bax, Lilligan, Annihilate, Armaldo, Reuniclus, Lokix, Grafaiai, Basculegion, Magnezone, Sandy Shocks, and Tropius. So, right off the back, I think Lilligan, Grafaiai, maybe even Lokix would be pretty decent here. Reuniclus maybe would be good help. I do, however, think if they don't solve it fast enough, Ileap just gets pissed and he breaks everything in the room. So, like, would you escape? Maybe. Technically. Would you solve it? Probably not. Same with like Basculegion. Basculegion is also like a vengeful spirit type mon. Um, so I think we're gonna have to make a new tier for this. Maybe in the middle somewhere, and we'll decide what we name it later. But for now, that's where Fadi's gonna go. Next up is my team. I've got Walking Wake, Meowscarada, Iron Treads, Mousehold, Glamora, Tinkaton, Skeledirge, Weezing, Blastoise, Scyther, Pikachu. And you know, similar to the other teams, I have some risks on the team. I got Scyther, he can't do anything in this room. I got Skeledirge, he has to be careful where he's walking, all those flames everywhere. Iron Treads, probably not very helpful at all. Walking Wake, Prehistoric Dinosaur, probably got like a peanut-sized brain. I do, however, have Meowscarada, Mousehold, Tinkaton, and Pikachu, which I think between Meowscarada and Mousehold, they're gonna get out of that room pretty quick. I don't think I'm at risk of like breaking the room or anything. I think we're at least here. Okay, so next we got Agent 7. Agent's team: Shenpao, Chi-Yu, Jellicent, Crocodile, Scolipede, Florges, Porygon Z, Buzzwole, Bisharp, and Smeargle. This team feels like it's in an odd spot. There's no like imminent danger from any of the mons. Maybe Buzzwole, just because he's a little too strong. Maybe Bisharp, but like I feel like his hands don't have to be knives all the time. He can like make them sharper. That's like his thing, right? Chi-Yu, I don't know, is it like made of fire? Is it gonna catch things on fire just by being there? I'm gonna guess no. I'm gonna think it'll be okay. You are a little bit lacking in Pokemon that can like pick things up and like move things or like push buttons. That could be an issue, but overall I don't think it's that big of a problem. I think it's probably in the same tier as like Papa's team. Or maybe Roma? Is Roma one under? Yeah, so I lied. We're just gonna, it's not very good. I also don't think they have like the brains. Like Porygon Z is close, but it's corrupted, so like he's probably not all there. He's like a little, you know. But next up we got Milo. He's got Roaring Moon, Enamorous T, Heatran, Spectre, Donphan, Boros, Thundurus, Muck, Go-Go, Hitmonchan, Glalie. Okay, so I think your only mon with hands is Thundy. And honestly, I do not trust Thundy to get out of an escape room. I think Hitmonchan could be some help, but the gloves really hold him back. Like he can't do a whole lot with those. So I think this team is just too many like quadrupeds. You're not like threatening the space, but you just like you have one guy doing all the work, and it's not the smartest guy in the bunch. So I think we're actually gonna have to add a new tier below these guys and put Milo's team there. Milo, I don't actually know which one. I thought I heard him say Milo before, but it could be Milo. Next up we got Coolio though. Coolio's got Rillaboom, Alecki, Victini, Slurpuff, Politoed, Iron Hands, Latios, Seismitoad, Moltres, Mawile, and I think similar to, what was it, Tower's team? You don't have like, no, I think it's actually in a better spot than Tower's team. Like Politoed has hands, Victini has hands, Rillaboom has hands, Seismitoad. Mawile has like stubby hands, but they're still hands. You don't really have anything that can't do anything, you know? Even Latios has hands. Like Moltres is probably your worst thing, but it's not actually fire, right? So you don't run the risk of burning anything down or anything. You have Regieleki, which could be good or bad, depending on how like electronically reliant the escape room is and how well Alecki can do it not overloading the system, something like that, you know? But overall, I think this team would be really good. I think maybe we add a tier below Hollow and put him there. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Alright, now we got Jace. Jace's team is Excadrill, Latias, Titar, Sylveon, Rotom, Wash, Arcanine, Amoonguss, Murkrow, Oranguru, Ursaring, and Cobalion. I do think you're a little bit strapped for mons that can actually do things. I think Latias, Oranguru, Ursaring, and Titar are in like the same boat of being like they have hands, but like you really want them handling things? Probably not. Something similar to Regieleki is like Rotom. Depending on how electronically involved the escape room is, you can probably possess some of the stuff in there, and that could help, and not really run the risk of overloading circuits like a Lucky would, because that's like Rotom's thing, is like going into electronics and taking over. I also think that you have like some smart Pokemon that would be able to figure it out for the mons that have hands that can actually do stuff. Like Murkrow is probably pretty smart. Sylveon might be smart. Cobalion could be smart. Don't know. He's probably like in between. But overall, I think this team could actually do pretty well. I think we'll put it up here for now. I'm tempted to put it here, just for the sake of Rotom solving the room in an unintended way, of potentially just being able to like open the door. But for now, we're gonna put him here. All right, so next up we got Electric. Electric's team of Zapdos, Sneasler, Jirachi, Nidoking, Moltres, Starmie, Grimmsnarl, Ditto, Exeggutor, Alola, Persian, and Morpeko. I think you have a decent amount of Pokemon that can like handle stuff, and I think you have one that are smart enough to solve it. The issue is you also have a lot of really big Pokemon. You've got 2 legendary birds and Exeggutor Alola. So it would just be so hard to like maneuver around the room and not break things with Moltres, especially not setting things on fire. And I don't know if there's any escape room that could fit Eggy, which you could argue just means you're down a player, but I'm taking into account like he has to fit in there somehow, right? So like break the ceiling, bend his neck all around the room, like figure it out. It's gotta help somehow. So I think this could go in the same tier, honestly, as Fadi, of if they can not break the room, they'll be able to solve it eventually, I think. Or honestly, like pretty quickly. So we'll put him, what's his mascot? Bagon. We'll put them in the same tier as Fadi, but above Fadi. I don't know if I'm ordering within the tiers or just tiering them. We'll figure it out at the end. But next we got Radlup. Radlup's got Coco, Corviknight, Iron Moth, Gyarados, Breloom, Mamoswine, Armarouge, Torkoal, Marowak, Exeggutor, and Tauros. So again, I'm noticing an issue of not very many Pokemon with hands. You do have Armarouge, Breloom, and Marowak, but Breloom and Marowak are short. Breloom especially has really stubby arms. Not sure how much help exactly they would be. Armarouge, on the other hand, can probably deal with all of the button pressing. You do have a few big Pokemon in Gyarados and Mamoswine, so that can make maneuvering around the room a little bit difficult, but overall not like entirely detrimental. Now it just comes down to mentally, could they escape the room in time? Honestly, I'm not that convinced. Iron Moth might be like smart just because it's super futuristic. Eggy is a psychic type, so maybe it's got some sentience there. Corviknight is a Raven, Crow, whatever. Those are usually pretty smart. This is a tough one. Would they make it out? Would they make it out? Honestly, we'll probably put them with Papa's team. Yeah, I think putting Radlup's team with Papa is fair. I think that makes sense. Next up, we got Winner's team. Winner has Iron Valiant, Celesteela, Slowking Galar, Barraskewda, Hisuian Zoroark, Lando T, Ninetales Alola, Turtonator, Alolan Sandslash, Poltegeist, and Butterfree. I think between Valiant and Zoroark, you can like move stuff pretty easily. I do think the existence of Celesteela at all is an issue. It's like also significantly bigger than most any escape room could ever be, and it wouldn't really be able to help at all. It would literally just get in the way. I think if you can figure that issue out though, you have enough smart Pokemon to escape the room, and enough Pokemon to maneuver things to where you can not have to worry about that. So I think this will also go in one of the higher tiers. Is it as good as Coolio's? Where's Coolio? Yeah, I think we'll give it to Winter for now. Alright, next we got Zenduck. Zenduck has Iron Bundle, Kartana, Toxapex, Azelf, Kamala, Palmont, Klefki, Yusi, Mesprit, Trapinch, Octillery. Okay, so this is kind of interesting. You have some really capable Pokemon. Like, I just realized that they drafted all 3 of the Lake Spirits. That's funny. So between these 3, I feel like they could figure it out. I think your only issues come with Kartana. Like if it cuts something really important, it's like sword arms or anything. Or like if Klefki just decides to like yoink a key and like no one notices. Like Klefki just has no interest in escaping the room, it just like wants the key, you know? I do think eventually they would figure it out though if something like that happened, so I think this team actually ranks pretty high. I think it either goes bottom of this tier or top of this tier. I don't think anything can really compete with the supercomputer that is Metagross. So we're just gonna put it at the top of the next tier. And finally we have Magnus, with Dragapult, Kingambit, Gliscor, Slitherwing, Slowking, Avalugg, Weezing, Electros, Superior, Dragonair, and Arctovish. Okay, so you're like really strapped for Mons with hands. Dragapult has stubby little claws. Gambit has like sword arms. Let me look at Kingambit. Alright, yeah, this dude does not have hands. He cannot interact with anything in the room. I mean, he won't like break stuff like I thought he might, but he definitely he just got little pokers. Gliscor, claws, Slitherwing. I don't think it really has hands. Slowking is probably your closest thing to having hands. That and Superior technically has like little arms, but nothing with like fingers. So like if anything requires like even slightly precise movement of objects or like placing things, your only real bet is like Slowking, maybe Electros. All of your Pokemon should be able to fit into the room, so that's a plus. And mentally, I think Slowking could figure out. So like, it really just comes down to can Slowking solo the escape room, and I think maybe it could. I do think it'll be in the lower tiers though. I don't think it's quite as bad as Belo's, but I do think it will be here. I think it is the next worst. Let me just look over everything real quick and we'll get back with the final rankings in just a second. Alright, so this is what we're going to go with our final rankings. The tiers are ordered, so no one really moved out of their tier, except I did drop down Magnus. After looking again, I really don't know if any of these Pokemon could physically make it out of the room. Like, you're really just relying on Slowking to do everything, and he has like stubby little, like, doesn't even have like thumbs. Like, so this is what we're looking at for the season, and hopefully this PR gave you a good idea of what to look out for as we move on with Fadi Rules. Hopefully you did enjoy. If you think that I hyper-focused on the logistics of Pokemon being able to pick up things in an escape room and solve puzzles with that. Let me know in the comments, because I probably did. If you think I overlooked something on one of these teams, and something could definitely get out of an escape room, like, instantaneously. Ignoring teleport. That's not real. Let me know. Or if you just want to say hi, leave a comment. But until week 1, bye.